Okay, hello everyone. Once again, welcome back to our class. So today we're going to discuss a very interesting topic from chapter 4, meaning of demand and its determining factors. Okay, so here demand is a micro concept. It is relating to an individual or a person. Okay, so when we say demand, we means a situation when a consumer is willing to buy a quantities of good or a commodity at a particular price in a given period of time. Okay, a situation when a consumer is willing to buy a good or a commodity at a given price in a given period of time. Okay, that is demand itself. Now coming to the factors determining demand. Factors determining individual demand for a commodity means the factors, the reason behind a consumer to compel to buy a good in the market. Okay, so the first factors is on price of the commodity. On price of the commodity means price of the particular good or commodity that we are going to purchase or buy in the market. Okay, so you see, as a rational consumer, whenever we go to the market to buy good or a commodity, we always see the price. If the price of a good or a commodity is low, then we tend to buy more, and if the price of a good or a commodity is high or expensive, we tend to buy less, isn't it? So that is why on price of the commodity determines individual demand of a commodity in the market. Okay, I hope that is clear, right? Okay, next we will see price of related goods. Goods are said to be related when price of one good, say X, causes change in demand for the other goods, say Y. That means because of change in price of one good, when there is a rise or fall in the price in the demand of the other good, then we call it as related goods. Okay, related goods are kept in two categories, namely substitute goods and complementary goods. Now, what are substitute goods? Substitute is very simple. Substitute goods are those goods which can be used in place of one another. Say example, tea and coffee, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and there are so many examples of substitute goods. Okay, but here you see in a substitute goods there is a direct relationship. How? Now I'm going to show you. Okay, let's say tea and coffee is a substitute goods. Now you see, yesterday the price of both tea and coffee is ₹10. Okay, the price of both tea and coffee is ₹10. That is yesterday. But today when I went to the market, I found out that the price of tea has come down to ₹5. Now in that case, as a rational consumer, what we will do, what I will do, what you will do, we will buy more of tea and less of coffee, even though the price of coffee remains constant, isn't it? Yes or no? That is why there is a direct relationship in substitute good, because fall in the price of one good, say tea, has causes fall in the demand of coffee, isn't it? I hope that is clear, right? Okay, next is complementary goods. Okay, complementary goods are those goods which must be used jointly, which must be used together. Okay, examples, car and petrol. Car and petrol are is the best example of complementary goods. Okay, because without petrol, what is the use of having a car? Without car, what is the use of having petrol, isn't it? Yes or no? Okay, so here in a complementary goods, there's an inverse relationship. Inverse means opposite to each other. Say, for example, the price of both car and petrol is same yesterday, but today when I went to the market, I find out that the price of petrol has come down to ₹30 or 40, even though price of car remained the same. Now in that case, as a rational consumer, what we usually do is, since the price of petrol has come down, we tend to buy more of cars. Okay, in reality role. So here we see that because of fall in the price, of one goods, the demand for other good has increased, isn't it? Yes or no? That is why there is an inverse relationship. Okay, see, even in your textbook is given very clearly, a fall in the price of one commodity leads to a rise in the demand of other commodity. For example, if price of petrol falls, its demand will rise, which in turn will increase demand for its complementary good, that is car, isn't it? Thus, a fall in price of one complementary goods, say petrol, increase the demand for the other complementary goods, say car. That is, there is inverse relationship. Okay, I'm just explaining in a very brief turn. You go through later on, and if there's any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. Okay, point number 3 is income of the consumer, direct relationship. Income of the consumer means income of us. Okay, income of me. Okay, my income, your income. So our income also determine an individual to buy good or a commodity in a market. Okay, now income of the consumer are again classified into two parts. One is normal goods and inferior goods. Now what are normal goods? Normal goods, under this normal good, it is a situation when an increase in the money income of the consumer increases the demand for normal goods and fall in income reduces the demand for it. That means when a consumer income increase, he or she will buy more goods, and when a consumer income decrease, he or she will buy less goods, isn't it? That is normal good itself. Okay. Next is inferior goods. Inferior goods means an increase in income generally leads to a fall in demand for an inferior good because a household can now afford to buy normal, that is superior goods. Okay. For example, with increase in income, a household demand for toned meal inferior good may fall, and that for full queen meal normal good may increase. That means, see, the word inferior is something which is not good for our health, or which is not something acceptable in a general term, isn't it? So under inferior goods, with the increase in income of a consumer, the demand for inferior good, that is toned meal, by a consumer will reduce, and the demand for normal good, that is queen meal, will increase. Why? Because here now the consumer can afford to buy more of normal good than superior good. Than inferior goods, isn't it? So that is inferior good itself. Okay. And lastly, tastes and preferences of the consumer, direct relationship. Very interesting. Tastes and preferences of the consumer. Okay. Tastes and preferences of the consumer means if we like something, if we like the taste of something or a good or a commodity, then as a consumer we tend to buy more. We want to buy more, isn't it? But if the taste of something which is not good for our health, then we tend to buy less, right? Or preferences also same thing. If we like something, then we tend to buy more, or if we don't like something, we tend to buy less. Okay, I'll just read it out for all of us. Demand for a commodity is directly related to the taste, preference, and habits of a consumer. Okay, a favorable change in taste for a good, say salty eatables, induce the buyer to purchase more of that commodity. That is, it increases its demand. On the other hand, an unfavorable change in taste, say for sweets like tobacco products, etc., decrease in demand at the same price. Okay, a change in preference also affects the demand. For example, if LED TV set goes out of fashion or out of taste of consumers, its demand will fall. Similarly, a student may demand more of books and pens than utensils because of his or her preference and taste, isn't it? An unfavorable change in taste for a good will reduce the demand for that good and shift its demand curve to the left. Okay, so whatever we have discussed today are all quite relevant to us in our society, in our day-to-day life. Okay, so when you study this kind of topic, always relate to yourself, ask to yourself, and then you study, and it's very interesting. Okay, so you go through again, and if there is any doubt, you ask me anytime. Okay, thank you.